Yo guys, what's going on? And welcome back to a brand new video on the Hijomeatman News channel. Today we are doing the Let's Talk for the first round of the 2018 MotoGP season in Qatar. And we are finally back with a Let's Talk. We did miss Thailand and the Qatar test because we were very busy. We had exams and other things. I had driving lesson stuff going on there with exams for that, but we're back today and we're starting a brand new season, and well, what a way to start the season. So just like normal, we will be going through the top 15 in each class and then just talking about the odd rider who didn't get a point or crashed out or whatever, and just talk about their performance over the weekend and what we think they can do throughout the rest of the season, and what we think they did well at Qatar and what they didn't. As always, you're joined by myself and Jamie. So hello Jamie, good evening. And
hello
welcome
there.
Back to the channel on the Let's Talk. It's exciting to get this season underway. So, we're going to start off with the little class.
Moto 3.
And, well, it was quite interesting, really, for that one. Because it looked like, through practice, there was two riders who was going to run away with it. And that's kind of what happened.
Pretty much. Hijomeatman and Aaron Canet. You know, usually in Moto 3 we're used to like big groups fighting for P1, whereas this time that big group was like P2, P3 kind of thing. The front two just to kind of vamost. Obviously, it was three riders in that leading group, but Hijomeatman obviously just missed out on the pole position. Started P2, 1,000ths behind of Antonelli, who did get pole position. I do believe he got the whole shot. He lost the lead quite rapidly after that, though. Little Antonelli.
He did.
On his brand new sick 58 Squadra course. Obviously, Nicola Antonelli back on a Honda and getting pole position to start with, which was pretty good. But yeah, like I said, usually we're used to those big groups in Moto 3, whereas this time around it kind of didn't come. But like you said, it was kind of expected the way Martin and Canet were going about this weekend with that pace. They kind of pulled the pin quite rapid. Especially Martin, and then obviously the
FP2. Looking at FP2, Martin had a 6/10 gap over Antonelli, and it was a bit like, okay.
I don't even know how it's possible how he's that much faster.
It's just I honestly don't know. But then from second to third, it was only 13,000. So we go, okay, there might be a little battle there, and then from Rodrigo. Third to fourth, which is Bastianini and Rodrigo, it was a 10th. And then it just gets bigger and bigger. You know, 5th to 6th is half a second. And then it's just very small amounts all the way down till Renas is 17th. And then Bulliger just a 10th behind him. And it's some more small amounts. So we had that mid-pack where there was the fight, and that was exactly what we saw. But little did we really know. You know, we were looking at the timesheets. For example, this one, FP2. Aaron Canet was down in 9th, but you know we were all focusing on the race pace, and that's what he had, and that's what he showed us. So yeah, like Jamie said,
it was exciting. It was exciting.
It was expected, and there was three people, like he said, and we'll get onto that in a moment. But it was quite an eventful start, really. We had people dive bombing everywhere, and
typical Moto 3.
Yeah,
and start to the Grand Prix. With the all of them going into turn 1, obviously it's a lot of riders in Moto 3, and it's always a bit chaotic. Though there wasn't actually any, at least I don't think there was any like major. Well, there might not even been any turn 1 crash. You know, I was kind of expecting.
No, I don't think it wasn't. No,
I was expecting something to happen into turn 1 with all them bikes, but not a lot did. So that was kind of surprising. You know, all them riders coming out of there in one piece. That was quite shocking, really.
So, the race obviously went on, and then, unfortunately for two riders, this is Darren Binder on the Red Bull KTM, his debut in the KTM. Obviously, his brother in that team did absolutely brilliant and won the championship a few years ago. He got took out, what we believe, by Philip Ertl. So
you would have thought, judging by the little hand gestures, I don't know if there's any videos or pictures or anything of that, you know, the throwing the little box on the bottom there.
Oh yeah, but we'll find it alright to go down
by
the
Darren Binder's body language and stuff like that, I think he definitely got wiped out, and he was doing a really good comeback.
Touched,
I don't know where he started. I think it was quite low down, but he was doing pretty good.
Darren
a really good
Binder
start.
qualified,
and then he was also in that leading group.
In 20th.
Leading group. P2. He was in like that P2, P3 group, whatever it was at the time.
Yeah.
And he looked good, because I was looking at him coming through, I was like, wow, look, there's that orange bike. And then they started talking about him on TV, and then the next minute, I was looking at the group, and I no longer saw no orange. I was like, oh, Binder, hello.
And it cut to him in the gravel, giving Philip Ertl a few hand gestures. So, yeah, that's what I think. And that's not the first time that Philip Ertl has been involved in an incident at Qatar, because I believe he took out one of the, was it the RBA bikes last year?
Yeah.
At turn 6. So
he's a bit of a savage when it comes to everyone.
The sale, Ertl don't want to be around him, around that circuit. But anyway, 2 laps later, unfortunately, the leading group went from 3 to 2 because Bastianini on his debut with Leopard slid out and went down the road at turn 6, which was quite a shame for him, because every year we go like, oh, is Bastianini going to deliver this year? Is it going to be his year? And he always kind of starts well, but then drops away and then comes back a little bit at the end. But this year, he was looking consistent. Testing was a lot better than what it has been in the past years. Round 1 was better. He was kind of, floating around the top in every session inside the top 5. And we thought this is a good chance for him. And then unfortunately, he just went wide, really. He was a bit greedy.
Yep. Onto the dirty, sandy part of the track, and obviously it's quite a funky crash.
We'll get on to track conditions more for MotoGP and qualifying, because there was that sandstorm obviously on Saturday that affected these guys in qualifying a little bit. So obviously track conditions weren't the best, like Jamie said, dusty offline, so you had to be quite precise, not much margin for error, and obviously, it's quite difficult when you're in a group with about 10
especially
riders or something in it.
Going at the speed that their top 3 were going at. Obviously, they had such a big gap over the group behind, so they were obviously going, way over the limit compared to everyone else, and it was a bit unfortunate for Bastianini. But like you said, everyone, I don't know how long, probably the last 2 years maybe, they've always said, Bastianini, it's going to be his year, he's going to do it, and he just flops again. But hopefully this year it is not the case. Obviously, it's only round 1. There's still 18 rounds to go. So if this was last year, the season hasn't started yet. So there's still plenty of rounds for him to go. He just needs to, I don't know really, just sort himself out a little bit. He's in a very good team. Obviously, we know that team's a very good team. Obviously, last year with Johan Mir, domination. And so we know it's a good team. We just need him to sort himself out a little bit. Lorenzo Dalla Porta. Obviously, we'll get on to everyone when we kind of go through the list. At the moment, we're just kind of talking about the different parts of the race.
Now, whilst that was happening, McPhee on the CIP bike, he started 12th, went down to like 22nd, fought his way back up, and he was in that leading group in 3rd position. Him and DG kind of just jumped into the group, kind of out of nowhere. They were like a second or 2 back.
Kind of
then all of a sudden,
into the
Sasaki,
the at the end
DG, Sasaki,
Toba
DG, and McPhee, and Toba, as well. They all just kind of jumped into this group, and it was like, where the hell have they just come from? So it was all quite exciting.
A little bit surprising. Obviously, we didn't have the original riders in the group there that were all battling, so that would have helped it. But it was just kind of out of nowhere, because you just looked at the tower and then suddenly it was all like moving all over the place, and then suddenly the group had just doubled. It was like, whoa. So I'm not actually too sure what happened there. I don't know if they all might have ran wide, or if some, I don't know if the slipstream was that OP. But that graphic suddenly was tripping, and then the group was just double.
It was having a bit. It couldn't keep up, could it? We had McPhee go 4th, and then back down to like 12th, and up to 7th, and then 6th, and it was just like timing screen cannot cope. I saw somebody else went up to 2nd, and I was like, well, how's he there? Well, Cannett's there, and it was all a bit like the timing screen.
I originally thought that graphic, the new graphics were like broken, and then when it came to the shot of that second group, you could see all those riders were there, and I was like, well, how's that come about then? How are they there? How's that happened? So not too sure really how they pulled back that gap that quickly, but the slipstream is obviously very important on this track. On that home straight. So I don't even know, but that was all a bit.
I want to talk about KTM, because the top KTM was P5, and more importantly, I want to talk about the Sky team. Obviously, Bullinger, if you guys don't know at home, I didn't actually know this until today when you told me. He actually injured his ankle at a private test at Valencia, And also the other Sky bike, Foggia, he hasn't actually rode around this circuit. So what do you think from them two riders when we get back to Jerez, when Foggia knows the circuit, Bolega should be like 100% like fit? Do you think that they can challenge with the Hondas, the likes of, Martin Canet, Antonelli, Bastianini and a few others? Because
I mean, I do hope so. Not only them, I do hope that all the KTMs out there. Because when you look at this list, when we go through the top 15 list, there's not too many KTMs up the front there. So I don't know if it's just KTM in general. Obviously, I think it was McPhee, when obviously he's on a KTM this year. He was talking about how the bike, feels a bit dodgy going into corners and stuff like that compared to the Honda.
Yeah, you have to kind of use the rear brake more to steer it, and you have to be. And McPhee had no rear brake as well. I don't know what happened there, but apparently he had no rear brake, so they made it a bit harder for him to ride what already is a hard bike. Whereas you look at Honda and it's just user friendly, and it's very weird because GP bike completely the opposite.
Even the Moto2 Hondas are all a bit over the place, but Sky. Definitely not the way they wanted to start the year. Obviously, Dennis Foggia, it is his first ever time coming to this track, so you can forgive him a little bit in that perspective. But if you remember when Bolega came for the first time, he was up there. So I don't know, maybe Foggia should have been up there too. I don't know, but obviously the track conditions this year are worse than they've ever been. So I don't know. There's lots of kind of like different things that could impact such pace from these, but it was a bit poor, really, to see Rossi's team literally on the back rows of the grid at the start of the Prix.
It was quite a sad 22nd and 25th on the grid, but
like you just had Rossi looking over the wall like, well, this is not negotiable.
They didn't use a towing qualifying, which might have pushed them back a
obviously
little bit.
Very important, and that is obviously
also the
could
track
be the reason for Binder that was on about before. It's a one bike team this year.
Yeah.
So you can't go out with a teammate. You can't plan it. So
to go out with.
That is all a bit sad. But I think overall KTM Moto3, I don't know if it's because obviously now they're in Moto2 and obviously MotoGP, and next year they're going to have 4 bikes in MotoGP. So I don't know if they've took off a little bit of focus of Moto3 or if Honda overall just got better. They've just decided.
I said the same last year, and I think I said last year I think KTM would be more, up there with Honda, like fight Honda a lot more, win races more, because they've now got the MotoGP ball rolling, so they'll put their focus back into Moto3, because obviously that was poor last year. So they'll go, right, now let's get KTM back up in Moto3, and then get I've lost my thought. Get MotoGP kind of at the level that they want, and get Moto3 back up to where it was, so then fight Honda. And obviously that's not happened yet. But
I mean, it's not an awful bike. There was a couple KTMs up there, but they obviously got kind of a bit wiped out the Grand Prix. Binder took out, Bezzecchi took out by his own teammate. They're
quite an interesting situation.
They're not that far off. It's just that Jorge Martin and Aaron Canet are just kind of on another level when it comes to, especially Jorge Martin, when it comes to qualifying. He's just kind of on another level. So I don't know. It's like if you put Jorge Martin on a KTM, would he be up there? Would he not? I don't know. Obviously, him and Honda, they're getting along very well on that Del Conca Grassini. The race overall for me, this Moto3 race was not disappointing, but I was expecting kind of like a massive group and all like super exciting. And then the minute the lights went out and like turn 1, turn 2 and all that was done, Jorge Martin was just like, right, goodbye. And then Aaron Canet came through and then he followed. And it was nice.
It was all hyped up and we were there like, yes, here we go, start the season. Halfway round like lap 2 or 3 or something when Martin hit the front and like started pulling out the lead. So 2 or 3 laps gone, he pulled out and in. It was a bit like, oh.
I blame the daytime.
Okay.
Go back to nighttime. Daytime's messing it up.
This daytime malarkey is just garbage. We had Moto2 in the sunset, which was just a bit weird. It was like watching them in the day, then it just went night, and it was a bit like these bikes have gone from looking a bit meh to looking lit in the light, in the big like tower lights that they got on the edge of the circuit.
Yep.
It just went from looking. It was really quite balanced, really. But before we move back onto the Moto3 and go through the top 15, I want to talk about Tony Arbolino real quickly, because last year he was pretty decent. He was up there, top 8, top 10s quite often. He's gone into the Marinelli Snipers team, which we've seen Fenati win races on, and he's been nowhere all weekend, which I was quite shocked with, really, because it's not like he's gone from a Honda to a KTM. He's on a Honda and a Honda. So,
I don't know, maybe he's not
I don't know what's going on in that camp.
I don't know, a comfy setup, or... Not sure. I was expecting him to be up there, but I mean, I don't know. It's like there's riders up there that I wasn't expecting, and the ones I was expecting are not up there. So I don't know.
The whole race that we had planned in our heads, that we were going into the race like, okay, this is what we're expecting. It was just turned on its head completely. It was a bit like, okay, obviously the top 2 weren't, but from 3rd all the way down in that group, it was all a bit riders who we just wasn't expecting. But that's good because, you know, fresh talent is coming up and fighting through. So I think we're about ready to go through them riders who managed to score a point, and we'll have a little talk about each rider. Obviously, we've already gone through Martin and Canet, who ended the race P1 and P2, but briefly mentioned him when we were talking about Bastianini. A bit of a surprise podium for me for Dalla Porta in 3rd, because practice, he was kind of under the radar, very under the radar. He wasn't exactly...
saving it for the race.
Yeah, it was a pleasant surprise, really, seeing him at the front. But
especially after last year, but there was all this like hype over him, and then also not KTM, Mahindra, they didn't give him anything really, and then they just decided now we're just going to pull it out now.
Last year he scored 9 points over the season, and he's already beaten that, and it's only been one race. He's already got 16 points. So
I definitely feel like he's going to be someone to look out for this year. I don't know about for the title or not, but definitely someone to look out for, because obviously when he was in the CV, he done super good, and I believe he was in that Leopard team at the time when he was in the CV doing really good, and now he's back with them, and to score a podium on the debut with the Honda, and I believe this is his first ever race on the Honda too, because I remember he done a couple of replacement races, I think, with Sky, which is also a KTM, and then last year with the Mahindra. So now he's on the Honda for the first ever time, and then straight on the podium, which is pretty good. He only just got it though, over Nicola Antonelli, who's in 4th. But either way, it was a good race. He was there constantly, you know, at the front of that group most of the time, Dalla Porta. So
it was.
He's definitely someone to look out for.
He proved as well that he can fight in a group at the front and not kind of... Because we see sometimes these young kids are like, oh my god, I'm in a leading group, get hot-headed and then just kind of wipe each other out. But he proved that he was able to, you know, keep that level of maturity or whatever that he's been able to get, and he pulled through and he managed to hold off Antonelli, like he said, to the line, albeit by just a few thousandths of a second, but he got the podium. And then 5th position was the first KTM, so it was a Honda dominance, much like it was last year. KTM in 5th position with the first of the RBA riders. That's Gabriel Rodrigo. Obviously, what was going to be his teammate, he retired in pre-season. And then they've got Mazaki, who actually had a pretty decent first race on the RBA bike. We'll get on to him in a moment.
Once again, like last year, you know, the first KTM isn't really the KTM you would have expected. Like normally,
you would expect that.
Obviously, in all the old seasons, you would expect when you think of KTM, you would automatically think, right, the Red Bull factory KTM or the Sky one. And then, you know, you've got this RBA skull thing. You know, it's kind of...
Yeah, it's just
and then the next KTM's a Prustel GP thing. You know, it's not really the teams that you would have thought were going to be the top KTMs.
No,
but good race from
not.
Gabriel Rodrigo. Obviously, he done pretty decent last year too. So I definitely think he's going to be up there
the thing is
a bit more
with Rodrigo,
hopefully.
That's exactly the thing I was just about to say. Consistency. He could be up there, but then he'll just crash. A bit like Valencia last year. He was up at the front. He was in like 2nd position behind Martin and ahead of Mir. Then he crashed. And then it was a bit like,
It's got his home race coming up soon, so hopefully he can put in another good performance there. And it's obviously very good for the RBA too. You know, they've had some really tricky seasons, and then last year quite positive, and then this year's looking pretty good. Obviously for them also. But Gabriel Rodrigo P5. The Argentine, ahead of DJ Antonio, which is probably the first rider of these ones coming up that was quite, I don't know, surprising, because obviously he wasn't part of the leading group for the majority of the race. He kind of like just popped in at the end with all that kerfuffle and chaos.
Yeah,
but
it was...
Fabio Di Giannantonio, I don't know why he's not as quick as Jorge Martin. They're on the same bike. He was a bit quicker last year, I feel. And he's, I don't know, kind of
not sure. I'm not sure what's going on there, because we have seen him, on the podium a few times, fight for wins. But in Qatar, it just looked like it wasn't working. He struggled all race, and I know this sounds quite biased, but it was kind of up until McPhee got ahead of him when they both were able to then jump the gap between the groups. So I don't know if it was like when McPhee passed him, he suddenly was like, oh, hang on a minute, I need to push. And he found the pace that he wanted to find at the start of the race. I don't know, but
it's just
hopefully this is just a one-off.
Disappointing. But, I mean, P6 is not bad. I just feel like it was overall disappointing when he was so far down and then he got up there. And also there was loads of crashes ahead of him too to get to that position.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, it was a bit disappointing.
I've just lost my little piece from my headphone. There we go. It's just kind of a bit like you're P6, but did you kind of deserve that because you were kind of running around P11, P10, around there, and then all of a sudden you've just bagged 4 more points than really what you were maybe capable of. But I don't know. Anyway, he was ahead of the 2 surprising riders for me, Toba and Sasaki. I say surprising, but they both actually... Well, I say Toba. Sasaki was quite impressive in his first race of the season last year. Toba has been a bit meh throughout last season, so I guess he is a little bit more of a surprise, even though I said he just wasn't, but, but looking at the Honda Team Asia team especially, where's Atarat Puvabat?
I mean, he wasn't anywhere last year.
Last year he was nowhere, he was just running around the back.
Even so, these are teammates, you would expect them to be somewhat close together. But Toba, another one of them riders like DG, who kind of just came out of nowhere. Suddenly, even the commentators, it obviously depends on what you watch, but on BT they were all going a bit crazy when Toba was suddenly there, just dive-bombing his way through. So that was all quite surprising. And then Sasaki on that Petronas bike, which looks quite nice. In my opinion, I think it would have looked very nice under the lights, but obviously we got a bit of daytime kind of trash, so we couldn't quite get the beauty of that bike. But Sasaki was doing quite good. Obviously, he was just about hanging on to that leading group throughout the Grand Prix. He was like falling back a little bit, and then he kind of found a little bit of mojo and got back into that group for the podium. But P8 not too bad, but
and then he's ahead of their teammate murderer.
Jacob Kornfeil. Or Jacob, I'm not too sure how you say that, but Kornfeil. I don't even know. I mean, that's not the way you need to respect your brand new teammate. Wiping him out of the Grand Prix could have been good points for KTM, good points for the Redox Prostel GP team, and he just completely wiped him out.
He just dive-bombed him and took him out. It was a bit depressing, really, just to watch that.
Bezzecchi, obviously last year had a very tricky season, and he looked quite comfortable in this Grand Prix. And
he looked very comfortable.
Just wiped out. His teammate was like, nah fam, you can get in the bin. Obviously Jacob Kornfeil, a pretty expert rider in this class, or whatever the word is. A veteran, he's been here for a long time, and he should start performing. P9 is obviously not awful, but he's been in it so long. You would have thought that he would have been at the front most of the time. But that is not the case for Jacob Kornfeil. Obviously, he is on a KTM also, so he is the second KTM. So the second KTM being in P9, disappointing to say the least. But also I've just noticed when you look at the speed trap, I'm guessing this is on the right here.
151.2s.
They're all the same, apart from Canet and Martin, who just have 0.4 over everybody. Not too
and
sure.
then there's
how
also the
they have,
51.1s from Mino down to Mazaki. So they're all fairly evenly matched, apart from, like you said, the two Hondas up front.
They're all pretty much the same, apart from Aaron Canet and Jorge Martin. So I'm not too sure what they're doing to get 0.4 more.
It must be just... They must have just this little tiny difference in the gear ratios.
So,
just slightly longer or shorter in one.
Interesting little stat there.
It could just be the final corner. They just get out the final corner better than everybody else because they were on their own. They weren't worrying about everybody else dive bombing or whatever. But then everyone else has slipstream. So
I mean, yeah. So it doesn't make any sense. But rounding out the top 10, we have Andrea Migno, who obviously rode for Sky last year. And I don't know what the reasons were for it, and like just switched team. I don't know if they just wanted Foggia or they didn't want Migno or what the situation was there. But he has moved over to the Angel Nieto team, which is another KTM. So at least KTM have 3 KTMs in the top 10. Not too sure that's something to be proud of or not. But Andrea Migno,
better than last year, wasn't it? I think.
Probably last year was a bit abysmal. But Andrea Migno rounds out the top 10 for the Angel Nieto team. Which used to be the Aspar team, I think it was, or I can't remember what it was called in Moto3, but it has a new look to it this season. And he's not done too bad, he's gone from KTM to KTM, and he hasn't struggled, so that's quite good, I suppose, for him.
He's done pretty well getting a P10. It was looking a bit dodgy for him, and then also his teammate, which got even worse for him this morning because he crashed in warm-up and broke his collarbone, so he wasn't racing. But for Migno, it was looking a bit... I don't know, every time I kind of went to, like, look at him on the leaderboard, he was always kind of down at the bottom of it, and I was a bit like, come on, please, just do something. Just like,
because he
is
just
poking something with a stick, like, come on,
a
do
race
something.
winner, I also remember. So, you kind of expect him to be at the front there all the time. But that's just not the case.
Luckily, in the race, he pulled through top 10 on that, like you say, brand new named Anel Nieto. It was Aspar, but now it's Anel Nieto all through the classes that they've got in there. And then Adam Norridin on that second Petronas Sprinter bike, like Jamie said earlier, absolutely lovely looking bike. And he bagged himself a P11 in front of... Is this the first rookie of... Well, I mean, can you call him a rookie even though he's done wild cards? Yeah, we'll call him a rookie. Messiah on that Best of Capital Dubai. Was,
no, I mean, yeah, he is a rookie pretty much. I don't think he rid this track, and it's his first full season, I believe.
Yeah.
So that's a good way to start for Hijomeatman Messiah. Obviously on the Best of Capital Dubai KTM.
Black and gold bike.
It is a very interesting looking bike to say the least. But Messiah, not too bad. Peter, obviously when we saw him in some of the replacement rides that he done and stuff, he was very aggressive, and he was up the top there.
That was a good one, Austria.
And it was all a bit like exciting. We didn't quite get to see too much of that this weekend. No, but it is his first time, I reckon, on this track and the bike.
Yeah, once you get into Europe. When you get into Europe, the names
when you get to Europe, that's usually
Mazaki,
where it all gets a bit exciting.
Mazaki, because he was in Red Bull rookies, you get Messiah, Foggia. Who else are we looking on that list? Anybody who's crashed out? Alonso Lopez. You get them kind of just creeping their way back up because they know the circuits. Because obviously
overall, when you get to Europe,
so
that's when the season
the whole championship
like
gets better.
A bit exciting because everyone knows
it is the classic tracks. Everybody knows, like I say, everybody's fairly kind of level because they've been around for a long time, and it's just classic tracks. It's just something about going to all these classic tracks.
Obviously, these first 3 rounds are kind of obscure tracks, whereas Europe, I don't know, everyone knows Europe. So we're expecting all these riders to be up there. Hijomeatman Messiah, I think he will definitely be doing some surprising things when we do get to Europe, and I think he's going to be one to look out for. He finished just ahead of Kazuki Masaki, and Masaki is obviously Rodrigo's teammate on the RBA Skull bike. He came in to replace Guevara, who I don't even know why he retired. I don't know if he ever said.
Apparently, he wanted to go on to do a business course. He wants to become a businessman.
It's a bit interesting. I think I'd rather ride.
I know what I'd rather do.
But yeah, Masaki getting some decent points. That's quite interesting. You got Sasaki, you got Masaki. Who knows what's coming next year? But it is definitely interesting. You know, obviously it was kind of like last minute. I think him, getting that offer, hopping onto that RBA, and he didn't do too bad at all. You know, P13, 3 points on the table to start off the season. Which is definitely not too bad. He's another rider that you could expect to do pretty good when we get to Europe and stuff like that. And he finished ahead of Bezzecchi, who I'm surprised he even got points considering he got took out. I mean, that's how far ahead these people
fair
were.
enough. Yeah, fair play. He managed to get back on and get 2 points. It's better than none, but
I was a bit like shocked when I saw that. He got wiped out and he still got points.
But it's just a bit sad, really. His teammate was like, nah, I want to be top bike here. I want to be the top Prostel GP bike. Get out of here, you stupid Italian. And it was a bit like, oh, okay.
It was quite disappointing. But it just shows how much faster that group was than everyone else in the Grand Prix. Because they took off. Roll around a little bit, go and pick up your bike, get back on it, and still finish ahead of people like Marcos Ramirez, Dennis Foggia.
I don't know what's going on with Marcos Ramirez. He finished the race in 15th.
As last year. Still got a point. Same team as last year, just different colours.
And he's been schooled by his new teammate, who's never seen this track before.
I mean, Masia does have some pretty interesting talent, but I don't know really what happened to Marco Ramirez even. Don't know. Did he do good here last year? I can't remember. Maybe it's just his track. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's not a fan of this place. Obviously, when we got to Europe, we saw him do really good, and obviously Darren Binder also. So I don't know.
Last year,
hopefully, he's not down there all the time.
Last year, where are you? Marcus Ramirez got 9th.
So I don't know. So
1.6 off the leader.
Might have been his qualifying. I just don't know. Obviously, P15, Ramirez, if you remember last season, he was always up there, doing some crazy things. So, I don't know. But once again,
the whole practice sessions, he was 12th. So, not bad, but not great. Qualifying came, and where did he qualify? Where did the little Spaniard qualify? There he is, 15th place. So, I don't know.
Not sure. Maybe he got a bit of beat up at the start of the Grand Prix. Obviously, Turn 1, Moto 3 is always super chaotic, so he might have got beaten up a little bit.
That could have easily happened.
Or something. But, P15, he still got a point. Double points finish for the Capital Dubai KTM team. He's a little bit lower also on the little speed thing on the straight, so maybe
but that might be because he's
on
quite
the setup
tall
or something.
Ramirez as well.
But he was the last
he's
guy
quite a tall lad
to grab a point for round 1 in the Qatar. He finished just ahead of Dennis Foggia, which is kind of disappointing that Dennis didn't get a point. Literally, he was so close by 70 thousandths of a second, I think, maybe something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
69 thousandths of a second, something like that. Dennis Foggia just missing out. But he done a good comeback overall. Dennis Foggia, starting a little bit further down.
25th.
Done decent. Like I said,
good
also
ride
Tony Arbolino
for the first time.
A bit disappointing. And then
Natarat Buvapat and Makar Yurchenko.
They are the top 19. And then the crashers, John McPhee, which not too sure what happened. He was right up there, and then suddenly he was no longer right there.
He went to pass a rider, and I don't know if there was a bit of contact or whatever, but he crashed at the penultimate corner. Which was
Alonso Lopez.
Bit depressing, really, because he did all that work. He went down to 21st or 22nd, and fought his way back up, and he was in 3rd at one point, and then just gets ruined at the penultimate corner. And sorry, carry on. Alonso Lopez.
All a bit. So Alonso Lopez, a rookie from CV, never rid this track before. Crashed in qualifying, I think it was, which was disappointing. He crashed out in the race by himself, so he has a lot to learn.
A bit sad.
Livio Loy on the...
Livio Loy retired. He didn't crash.
The new
remember
Real
correctly.
Avintia bike looks really nice. Sadly, didn't get to see too much of it
Very
though.
nice. That's very nice. I might do that
TV.
in my career mode over on the main channel. Link in the description. So we have both of ours.
Yeah.
Please.
Nicolo Bulega, like we said, crashed. Bastianini crashed. Ertl
Crash.
took out our little friend Darren Binder. So that was all just a little bit interesting.
Sad,
really. Like
really.
I said, really wasn't the Moto3 race that I was expecting. I enjoyed it, but I don't know. I was expecting just something.
It was good, but like I said, it was a little bit like
And I have that fear that it's going to be like that all the time. Well, not all the time, maybe, I don't know. But Jorge Martin, he goes so fast by himself. I don't know how he does it, but he's so quick by himself. Like in qualifying, he was 6 tenths
incredible.
up on Antonelli, who had slipstream and all that the whole lap, and he had nothing. And then he just made a small mistake and he lost it by 1,000ths. But I don't know how can he even do that. I just don't know.
I have no idea.
But that is all. That's what's going on in Moto3. Obviously, good way to start for Jorge Martin, Aaron Canet. Hopefully, continue that consistency. And Dalla Porta, one to look out for. So that was Moto3. Obviously, it was a daytime race. And then, like you said before, Moto2 went to a sunset kind of funky looking conditions race. And Moto2 normally is probably the most boring one, you could say, normally.
That's fair to say.
Changed, really.
No.
I don't know, it's kind of like a copy, really, of the Moto3 race. You know, the leaders just went.
The leaders kind of broke away, and then, there was that little bit of a group with the two KTMs, Passini, I think Schrotter was in there as well, and Vierge.
So it's pretty much a copy-paste almost of Moto3, just bigger bikes. Which was
we also had a few other riders in the group who then dropped off or also crashed. But, let's try and speed through this because I've just looked at the thing with Moto2, Moto2 will only take about 10 minutes each. We've been going for 40 minutes.
I know, like we just like to waffle, but the winner... And to be honest, I was not expecting him to win. I definitely thought he would get the podium, but I didn't think he was going to win. I kind of low-key thought it was going to be one of the KTMs, not going to lie. But Francesco Bagnaia on the Sky Racing team.
Fast.
Yeah, but not that fast. He's on a bad
I thought Alex Marquez was faster. Like,
I mean, he could have won if it wasn't for his issues that we'll get onto. In a little bit, but Bagnaia taking his first ever Moto2 victory. A very, very good way to start off his season.
It's good as well. Yeah, it's been great. It's been good over pre-season. He has a MotoGP contract signed, dealed in his pocket, and now he's won the opening race. So
is he going to do? Looking good.
Is he going to do like Oliveira and Binder win one and then win?
I mean, possibly. That is a trend that we're seeing quite a bit lately in these sports. You know, you win one, suddenly you're winning all. Once again, just the same as Moto3, on this list, the front two are just faster than anyone else on the straight.
It's just
I don't know what
interesting.
I don't know what this is all about. But
why the front two faster?
Bagnaia took the win, and that is the first win for the Sky team, obviously, in Moto2. Good way to start off their second season in the Moto2 category. And also a fantastic way for Bagnaia to start off his season. And also a very good way for Lorenzo Baldassari to start off his brand new chapter in Moto2 with the Pons HB40 team. P2 just missed out by a 10th. He tried. But just wasn't close enough. Obviously, Moto2, you don't get that in drag like Moto3.
He went for the move.
So,
he had the move at the penultimate corner, went wide. Bagnaia was like, right, that's me, got the win now, thank you.
So and then, like, good race.
Like you briefly touched on, Marquez was just, he got past Baldassari and then Baldassari got back past, but as Baldassari passed him, then Marquez had that little issue that you was on about. Now, we think the rear brake was binding, it was stuck on the disc, because the disc was bright red. Like in Qatar, you see the glowing disc, but this rear brake disc was like ridiculously red, and obviously Marquez had that sticky rear brake, so he was going a bit slower in the straight, and that kind of stopped his charge, I think, to the front. So
I don't know if he would have won or not, but he was definitely looking at that current moment in time like he was a man on a mission. And then obviously
he
the
started
bike
to just find his rhythm,
denied him.
pick up the pace, and then that happened, yeah, which was quite impressive.
He
But he still managed to get a podium.
Hold on, yeah, he still managed to hold on to the podium. At the moment, like in time, I thought he was going to have to retire or something. But
yeah, so did I.
That disc suddenly cooled down a little bit, and well, lucky for him.
It's weird though, because when we get onto MotoGP, there's been a few brake issues over the weekend. There's been just some really weird mechanics in themselves making problems. So Ross's belly pan, Abraham's tyre warmer, and then a few brake related
the heat.
issues.
The heat is just getting to everyone's heads, and they don't know what they're doing.
We need to set up a campaign, get the old schedule back, get us under the lights.
Get us back under the lights
again.
where it's cool. But Alex Marquez is a good way to start off. Obviously, his Moto2 season. He does need to do good this year in Moto2. He can't have another year of just being a flop. If he wants to get in MotoGP, he needs to perform. And, well, he started off pretty good on the podium. He's brought the bike back home. He hasn't tried to overpush and fall or anything like that, which he'd normally done, to be honest, back in your last season, year before.
Yeah.
So that is good. He was obviously probably one of the favourites for the title. He's looked very good in pre-season also. Looked like he was going to dominate this Grand Prix the way all those sessions were going. But unfortunately, that little brake issue happened. And, well, at one point we thought, I thought he was going to retire. But I did definitely think that Mattia Pacini, who was in P4, was going to overtake him. But, well, that didn't happen. Which was quite interesting. But Bassini done a
rear brake sorted itself out.
Pretty aggressive start to that Grand Prix. The way he was slicing up the inside and forcing his way through people. I was like, "What was this? This is some aggressive stuff from the old Bassini."
Again, Bassini, like whenever I was looking at him on the timing screens and practice and that, he just seemed to be nowhere. Like at that precise moment that I looked, he'd be nowhere, and then he'd just sneak this kind of one lap in, and then be kind of there, like, "Oh, hello, I'm still here." And then obviously proved in the race that he still has the pace from last year. But I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was like a one-hit wonder throughout 2017, that whole season, and then it was never going to happen again. But obviously, I'm glad I'm wrong, and he got that P4 ahead of the two Red Bulls, which. Again, Brad Binder was a bit nowhere. He was a bit overshadowed by his teammate, and then again he shut us up in the race. It was
they were both looking.
I don't know if it
very good. Obviously, normally KTM they get faster at the end, but neither one of these two riders had set themselves up pretty good for this Grand Prix with that lap one. Obviously, Miguel Oliveira. I don't even know what he was doing in turn one, all a bit sideways and tapping. I think it was Marquez, and then Binder was getting all a bit beaten up in the background. So they didn't get off to the greatest of starts, but obviously they fought back really well. And we know that KTM are a very, very good bike, and they will definitely be winning races this year. And they are a lot better at the end of the Grand Prix than they are at the start of the Grand Prix. But this kind of track, there was really no tyre wear for Moto2 or Moto3 either, really. So.
No, it was
kind of like there was no issues. They even said that at the start of the Grand Prix. There will be no issues. I was
especially expecting Moto 3 because it was in a day. I thought there would be a little bit more tyre strategy coming in, like MotoGP had.
That usual
more planning.
What's a characteristic, I suppose, of the KTM where they catch up at the end because they have better tyres. They didn't really come into play here because there was literally no tyre wear, so they didn't quite get to pull about the gap that a lot of people were expecting. But either way, I think it's still a good way to start the season. P5, P6, still very, very good. Very good race for both of them. And hopefully they both stay good all year. Hopefully there's no injuries for Brad Binder or Oliveira or nothing like that. And we can see that bike constantly up there. Not just one of them, both of them. They both look quite evenly paced this year. Between them both, they look quite similar.
And they were both quite evenly paced at the end of last year, To be honest, like the last 3 rounds. And then, Dynavolt, brand new signing for 2018, Javi Vierge. He was in 8th behind his teammate, Marcel Schrotter. And, I mean, they look quite evenly paced as well, to be honest. So we got a little bit, 2 teams with a little bit of a teammate battle going on.
Yep.
Obviously, every team is a teammate battle, but this one looks quite lit.
Tech 3. And now he's on to the Calyx, and there's quite a big difference. I mean, I'm looking at this thing, trying to find a Tech 3. There's one right there. So that is obviously a good signing there that Dynavolt managed to grab Xavi Vierge, and he done pretty good. P8, just behind his teammate. He might have wanted to beat his teammate, but he literally missed out by 1/10. So
yeah,
there's still a lot to worry about. That team just looks quite nice, and they've got two pretty good riders. And obviously they were just behind the Red Bull KTMs. And then in P9 we have Luca Marini, Bagnaia's teammate. Maybe he needs to get some tips off of Francesco Bagnaia, because he finished a whole 20.6 seconds behind his teammate. So Bagnaia, come on, you need to tell Luca Marini the ways, because he's not quite on that level.
He don't know the way.
He don't know the way. But overall, I think it was a pretty good race for Luca. The first time he is on a in the Sky team. Obviously, he was in the Forward team last season, so he switched over, and he's adapted quite quick. He looks good on the bike. I like how he looks. The colours and everything like that looks quite good. So not too bad from himself. Hopefully, he does improve a little bit. When we get to Europe, maybe, because like I said, these first 3 races are so kind of obscure to the rest of the calendar.
Yeah.
But not too bad. Not too bad from Mr. Luca. He finished ahead over Navarro, who rounds out the top 10, which, I'm not even going to lie, I kind of forgot about this guy's existence a little bit till the race. I was like, oh, Navarro, look. Forgot about him. Honestly, last year, had his rookie season Moto2 in the same team. It was all a bit up, down.
It was a bit interesting. So, the crashes he had, he was the top of Moto2 in the crash list, 30 crashes, and... Wow. I believe, did he crash this weekend? I don't know. I vaguely remember seeing him in the gravel. I think he might have. But top 10 in the race, that's not too bad.
Not too bad.
He can keep floating around the 10th position. And then he was ahead of Johan Mir, who made his debut in Moto2 on the Mark VDS bike. Very good race for him. For saying where he started this race. And for saying as well that he has injured his shoulder in a field playing with motorbikes. So very good race for Johan Mir to get himself good job. 3 seconds off to the top 10.
Obviously, we know he has a 4-year contract, I think it was, or 3 years, whatever it was. So he's only going to get better and better. Obviously, P11. I don't think he'll be too disappointed with that. At least I hope he's not. It's 5 points on the board. He does have that injury also, and it's his first ever time on the Moto2 bike. He didn't look too bad in testing either. So I think he's going to be one to look out for. He's definitely going to be getting quicker and quicker. Probably like Brad Binder last year. He started off like a bit meh, and then towards the end of the year was right up there, grabbing them podium. So keep an eye out on Johan Mir. Obviously, he's on a very good bike, and he's a very good rider himself. And he finished just ahead of Remy Gardner, which is the first Tech 3 bike. Obviously, everything above has been Kalex, and then these 2 Red Bull KTMs. So, KTM had a bit of an interesting Grand Prix this weekend. With the other 2 that we thought were going to be up there after testing, which we'll get onto in a little bit. They didn't make it to the end of the Grand Prix, but Remy Gardner, P12 there for the Tech 3 bike. Pretty good race, I think, for him. I don't know. You can't really expect a lot from the Tech 3 bike because it's not really all that interesting in Moto2.
I think Remy this year, and especially Vierge last year, they just override the bike. Like the potential of that bike is nowhere near where Remy Gardner and especially Vierge last year actually put it. So
yeah, I would like to see Remy on a Kalex or something rather than a Tech 3.
I know Hervé Poncharal was quite upset and was like, I don't know why Vierge is leaving us. That's why. He got himself a P8, is on a Kalex, which is a little bit more...
Just faster,
just better
probably
in general,
easier.
really.
Easier to ride.
He's managed to get a P8, but obviously great result for Remy. He had a few injuries last year, I believe. It just a bit rocky last year.
Obviously,
good start on a Tech 3 in 12th position. And also, look at the name he's beat, Hector Barbaro, who has had years of MotoGP experience, and it's always a bit weird because they say Moto3 to Moto2 is always quite difficult, and then MotoGP back to Moto2, it's weird how so many riders struggle. We've seen, you know, Hernandez last year struggle, Barbara and Lowe's struggling. So it's interesting to see how these guys will go
on the Pons bike P13. I don't know if he'll be disappointed in that or not. I think the team might be. They might have been expecting him to be up there with Baldassarri.
I mean, yeah, looking at your teammate in second place finishing a 10th off and then you're finishing 30 seconds off, it would be a little bit depressing, I think.
Yeah, it's just a bit disappointing there from Hector, but I don't know, we'll see. Give him a couple races, I think, to adapt to Moto2 again, and we might, well, fingers crossed, him up there, because if not, his career might be coming to a close end. But he finished ahead of Simone Corsi. He's on an absolute disgusting bike. Tasca Racing, Scuderia, Moto2. God, that bike is just disgusting.
He had a little bit of a fight with Tech 3, didn't he, with Remy? I think in one of the practices. Took off the front mudguard.
Split the mudguard in two pieces. Not too sure what was going on there, but Corsi's bike, like I said, is absolutely disgusting. Literally, every time it's on the screen, fam, get that off.
And the next one. 50th
yeah, I mean, there's a couple of horrible bikes.
I don't know what's going on.
Horrible
We've
liveries,
got the Danilo's bike as well. The Nash Argan SAG team. That's
age thing. Yeah, there's some kind of interesting, debatable bikes liveries on the grid this year. But Simone Corsi picking up 2 points, the aggressive Italian. And the last point goes to Dominique Agata on the Kiefer Racing KTM. Obviously, we weren't sure if he was going to get a ride this year or not. Because of the whole financial issues, I believe it was at the end of last year, and then
obviously with
Suter pulling out and all that, you know,
Stefan passed away.
Suter,
like I say, and they just was not sure what was going to actually crack on with that team, but they managed to get a bike,
and they are on KTM, which is a good bike.
They did boot Cortese out though, which was quite upsetting for him, but he's off in Supersport now and he's up the front, and Dominique Agata has been able to keep his ride on the KTM and got a point in the first race
hopefully
on the KTM, and hopefully
does what the other KTMs are doing, you know, at the front eventually.
I mean, yeah,
it's not going to be the nicest bike to look at the front, but
that's exactly. I was going to say, I want him for his sake and the team's sake to be up the front, but I don't want to just keep looking at it at the front.
I know,
you know, be there like, oh, here's Dominic Agata's bike. Yeah, let's look away.
It's a bit funky, but he was the last guy to score a point, one sole point for Dominique Agata. So that is all a bit interesting. I feel like, I don't know, I don't know really about Dominique Agata. You know, some seasons, like especially a couple of years ago, he was always there, and then he kind of like faded away, popped back briefly, faded away, and now he's down in P15. So
he won a race last year and then got disqualified.
It's all a bit interesting, really, for Dominique Agata, but he is rounding out the points for Moto2, so it's a good way to start off the season. Just maybe not as many points as he wanted, but a couple names to look at here that did not get points. Danny Kent, P17 on his Speed Up Racing.
I don't know what went on to him.
He was up there.
6th position in qualifying after following Oliveira.
Yeah. Then he just kind of faded away a bit in the race.
I think at the end of lap 1, he was out of the points.
I mean, his start was a pretty awful. Just the minute the lights went out, that front wheel just went out to the sky. So
yeah.
That's not really what you want to do, Danny. That's not very.
And I mean, to finish like 0.3, 0.4 ahead of a rookie, Ben Snyder, that would be
and that rookie is on a Tech 3. Not that Speed Up is anything amazing, but it is Bo Ben Snyder. I mean, he didn't even do anything in Moto 3. And Danny Kent, obviously, you need to remember, he is a world champion.
Speed Ups have won races with Sam.
And Danny Kent, he is a world champion, remember? You know, Bo
was depressing to see both Speed Ups down there.
Wasn't really anything. But yeah, Bo Ben Snyder, just good job, I think, for him overall. P18 on that Tech 3, not too bad. Locatelli, P19. Fabio Quartararo is the other Speed Up, P20. Like you said, I think, previously or before recording. Expected probably a little bit more of him. It's his second season now, and not a lot really happened there, did it? Then we got the first NTS bike down here in P22, Stephen Oden.
I don't like that bike. That NTS bike, I don't like that.
The bike looks quite disturbing. The overall frame just, I don't know, it looks It looks chunky. I don't even know. Like when that image, it just
It
awkward.
does look fat, doesn't it?
It looked different. The other ones look. I don't know what it is. Just the others just look slimmer and just more professional than that thing. But there isn't a lot of those.
The others look fast, whereas that just looks.
It just looks a bit trash. It looks like something you just grabbed out the trash can and just thrown onto a bike and be like, yeah, this is an NTS RW Racing GP bike. But there
just
isn't
get
a lot
some
of
metal,
NTS.
put some screws in it.
There may only be two. I'm not sure. There may only be two. I don't even know. But NTS, I don't even know what they're all about. P22, P25. A bit interesting, really. I mean,
NTSs,
obviously these two riders, I don't think they've ridden here. Well, I don't know about Joe Roberts. Stephen Odenhull. It's his first time here, so it is their first time here also. So you can give them a little bit of slack over there. Romano Fenati, P24 on the Marinelli Snipers team.
Now, I don't know what happened to him. Apparently, he said he had tyre issues.
I mean,
I don't know if that was a little...
I don't know if that's an excuse.
Cover up or what, but...
Or not, because we saw him run on. We saw him all over the place, really. He just couldn't keep that bike in a line. But I don't know if... I mean, obviously, he might have had tyre issues. It could have just been his bike. But other people were going way faster than him and having no issues at all. So, not sure. It might have been the start. I don't know.
Might have been, yeah. But
Fenati, where did he start? He was right up the front there, and then he vanished real quick.
I want to say he started 10th, didn't he?
You know, it was just a bit disappointing from Fenati.
He started.
Who else? We've got Kyrie Dean, who's obviously came in from, I want to say CV.
Oh, no. He started 5th.
Yeah, he was right up there. I was thinking when he said P10, I was like, nah, bro.
He started 5th.
So, 5th to 24th. Yeah, just a bit disappointing.
That's a bit sad, really.
So, Fahmi Kyrie Dean, like I said, I think he's come from CV. I'm not sure, but I think he did. Or he's come from something. Come from something funky.
Kyrie Dean was in the World Supersport class last year.
So he's come from a bit more of an interesting class. He
had a very, very, very sad season last year. And it was shocking.
Well, it's not going too better in Moto2. So he's replacing Siren in that sick racing team, which is a nice bike overall. They don't actually have the little triangle-y things that they did on the bike.
No, I thought that when it was out there. I was like, where's the little triangle?
That is all a bit interesting. And Eric Granado, another rookie on the forward bike. Which is actually a Suter. Obviously, Suter pulled out and then came back. I don't even know what that situation's all about. But Everett Granado, not too great there. Fuligni, not too good either. Just a bit disappointing. And then crashing wise, Sam Lowe's crashing on that KTM.
Apparently, he had a false neutral.
Ike Lequona's bike switching off. That's two KTMs that I was thinking were going to be up. But obviously, it was which test was it? Was it the Jerez test? They were P1, P2.
Yeah.
It was like, whoa, how'd that then? And then Sam Lowe's overall throughout the weekend didn't look bad. And obviously, he crashed in qualifying, which didn't help the situation. Obviously, they only have one bike.
He was
up
and down like a yo-yo. Though, I think.
Too sure,
one minute he was up there, then he wasn't, and then he was, then he wasn't, and then he was, and then he wasn't, and it was like.
So lacking a bit of consistency, but I mean, hopefully he gets it sorted out. If he wants to get back into MotoGP, he's going to need to sort it out because if he flops in Moto2, he probably will not be going into MotoGP, especially when you see, Bauder performing, Bagnaia, Binder, Oliveira, and all these riders doing good constantly. It's going to be tricky to get back into the MotoGP. But that was. The Moto2.
That was the story of Moto2.
Not a lot changed. Moto2
now we're going to the main event.
The exciting kind of malarkey. No, but it's not exciting how it used to be. I remember back in the day, it was like, what? And then it just kind of went, okay.
And talking of exciting.
MotoGP was probably the most exciting one. MotoGP race was what Moto3 was supposed to be. I mean, what's going on? It's switched around.
And it's just... jokes. I'm hoping that it's like this from now to Valencia, but I don't know. I don't know if it will.
I don't know. I think it will. Well, I don't know about big groups or not, but definitely, I don't think we'll see one rider just kind of vamos because Ducati they brought.
Everyone expected W2 this weekend. everyone expected Dovi to bow, so he topped FP1,
No one
FP2,
thought Honda would
combined
be
in
able to stay
FP3.
with them, but they did. No one thought Yamaha would be anywhere to be seen. No one thought Crutchlow would finish. You know, it's just lots of things. I mean, no one thought that Zarco would be the record breaker to suddenly just a little rabbit to follow and then just leave behind. You know, it was all quite interesting, but
it was very interesting to say the least. But we're going to start real quickly before you start reading out stuff. We'll start going on Saturday because I was quite surprised that the top three were actually able to lap under lap record pace given the track conditions after that sandstorm. I was really shocked to see Zarco break the record.
Were a bit trash, really. And that record has been stood now. They broke it this year, so it's 10 years.
10 years,
back in the day, they had these
Lorenzo,
quality tyres and
2008.
all that funky stuff. The fact that the record was broken by what's not even a factory bike was also quite interesting, and on a dirty, trashy track. So Zarco done really good in that aspect in qualifying. Obviously, crashing FP4 also, which you would have thought maybe took away a bit of confidence. But no, he went out there straight away and done super good. Obviously, low fuel and that Tech 3 and him is clearly a very good combination on the heavy fuel. Maybe not so much, as we saw in the race. And even he said himself, right after qualifying, he said, "Nah, fam, me fuel tank? No.
I have the pace on a one lap, but the fuel tank, the bike is trash."
And even Hervé, he was like, "Nah, we're going to win this race." And he goes, "What are you on about? That's silly. We don't have the pace."
And I mean, fair play to him. He did well to lead that amount of laps and stay ahead. He was very good on the brakes in turn one. Zarco was.
I feel like every time it came to turn one, they just let him be in the lead. They could have easily took him. Like you could see, they pulled out. They were like, no.
Yeah, it was a bit like a Canet situation when he just kept rolling off. Like, nah, you lead. I'm happy.
I feel like
and that was all tyre saving as well.
I feel like any moment in that Grand Prix, they could have overtook him and just ditched him, but they just wanted to follow him. They were we'll save our time.
I mean, you saw as soon as one man passed Zarco, he just kind of
the minute Dobby overtook Zarco, Marcus overtook him straight away. It's like no, and I'm following him, and then everyone just started overtaking him, and he just went further.
Everyone popped through, and it was a bit
further back.
It was a bit sad, really, just to see Zarco go from first.
I don't know if that was the tyres or what, because I don't know. I mean,
I that's the only thing I can think of, because it was a bit of an opposite to Vinales sort of thing. So I reckon Zarco just gave it absolutely everything at the start. He's like, okay, I know I'm not great full tank, so let's go.
Turn one, braking super late all the time.
Yeah,
even saw Petrucci at one moment brake ridiculously late and kill that tyre.
He just went in like a madman.
So that was all a bit interesting. But the race, right at the start, Zarco did get that whole shot. Which was all pretty good. I mean, for me, the surprise at the start of the MotoGP Grand Prix was Danny Pedrosa, challenging Marquez and trying to force it in there. You know, Danny Pedrosa, obviously we know at Qatar he can't go quick, but he actually didn't even do too bad this year. Only 4.6 seconds behind we'll talk about him when we get to him, but you know, normally Honda in general, and especially Danny Pedrosa, they're absolutely nowhere in Qatar, but they've done honestly good this year. It may be the last season we do see Danny on that bike with all these rumours.
Yeah, we will have a video on that in a few days' time.
That is all a bit interesting, but Zarco did get the whole shot and lead the majority of the Grand Prix. I'd say, I don't know, I think they charged their way through on the last 6, 7, I don't know, something like that laps.
3/4 of a race or something like that.
You know, he was.
They kept showing him the wheel the odd time.
They kept showing him, but they just would not overtake him.
It's like, we're here. We just sat here behind you. You set the pace. We can save the tyres. You know, we're sat behind you so we can protect our tyres more because you're the one setting the pace. We can use your slipstream to gain back a little bit of time that we lose. And Zarco's just there like, I'm going as fast as I can.
It was just a bit interesting, really. You saw him and all these bikes behind him. I was like, okay. So what's going to happen here? But then the minute Dobby overtook, Marcus went through straight away. Then Rossi, then Cal, then Petrucci.
How much of a Phillip Island feel did it have?
Kinda
no one could push because of the tyres. Like the tyre life, we saw at the end of the race in the interview, Rossi's front tyre was kind of a bit gone. He kept running wide in the middle. He was struggling to. Dovy's rear tyre had gone because they all just went ham at the last 5 laps of the race, everyone just put the hammer down. And it was a little bit like
exciting.
Phillip Island. Phillip Island, you can never push until the last 5 laps, so that's why you always get a crazy race there, because the heat and the sliding
Even
over
so,
the top of
Phillip
Lukey
Island, it
Heights.
has that nature of the track where everyone is going to be
Yeah.
together anyway. But I feel like that's going to be the case for the majority of this year's Grand Prix MotoGP, because everyone now is so close. Even Suzuki. Even Suzuki have joined the picture. Although Rins did crash, he was there and he was setting fastest laps. And then obviously, unfortunately, he did crash. Yononi, he didn't do too bad, P9, but Rins are clearly doing better, even though he did crash.
Definitely.
But like they said, more positives to take away from that Grand Prix than negatives for Alex Rins. I definitely feel like he's going to be sniffing that podium a couple of times this year on that Suzuki.
Oh, easily.
And overall, that Suzuki just looks way better. So they got the concessions back, and they look solid. They look pretty good. Another crasher, which was a bit interesting, was Jorge Lorenzo. Now he wasn't even having a brilliant Grand Prix, anyways. He didn't have the best qualifying.
11th.
Turn 1 was just all a bit interesting. Whole lap 1, really. I mean, you saw that red bike getting a bit beaten up. And then he was finding his pace. He was catching up, and then the bike just, I don't know. We don't know what happened. Apparently it's a front brake issue.
Yeah, apparently had a front brake issue. He went into turn 1 and there was really not much brake anyway. So he managed to slow the bike down with the brake that he had. The obviously engine braking going down the gearbox and then the rear brake. So he managed to slow it down, went wide. Because I saw his name drop down the list a few times. Dropped down a couple of little slots and then Rins crashed. And then a little bit after, a couple of seconds, about 20 seconds after, you saw Lorenzo walking off in the gravel. And I was like, okay, I thought something might not have... I thought maybe he just ran off the track, got dust on his tyres or whatever, and then come back on and crashed at the next corner, or he's gone off into gravel and tipped over.
Yeah,
and then obviously at the end of the race...
It looked
awkward.
Like
the sound the bike just went
awful.
I mean, if I could get the sound, alright, I will play it now. So... If not, then, oh well, I will just have to describe it. And then if we do, I'll have to cut this out and edit. But the bike just kind of went from normal revs, going down in gears, up, boom, boom, boom.
And then you could
Like
just
that.
see
It
the
was
corner
really
was
weird.
to the right, and the bike was like, no, we're going left, mate. And Lorenzo was like, no, fam, I don't really want
It's
to
like
do here.
trying to tip in. You sort of, they tip into the corner, and he's just saying, like, come on. He's like, we're not making this. No, and then he said...
A bit interesting.
He said he'd rather crash than hit the wall, so he just dropped it because he got back to pit lane and there was only one brake pad in the caliper, which
so that's not very too
quite
good. But I mean, he wasn't having
how it's escaped as well.
A brilliant Grand Prix anyway. But I feel like he would have caught up to that group, especially with the pace that Vinales had. He would have either followed him or they would have just got there together. But the bike kind of gave up on life really and. Wasn't having any of it. I mean, he might have had brake issues the entire Grand Prix. That might have been why he was so bad at the start. Who knows? But definitely not the way Lorenzo want to start his year, that's for sure.
Now, whilst we are, obviously, I think we're on the topic of the non-classified, we'll have a talk about KTM. Now, well, what do we say about them? They come into this season after their first season in MotoGP last year. We're ready to see them fight for points. And it's not gone well this weekend. They've had 3 breakdowns, if I'm not mistaken. 2 with Paul and 1 with Brad.
I don't know. I don't really know what's gone on over winter. I mean, the bike is clearly a lot better, obviously, because they're not 4 seconds off or whatever anymore. But they haven't they've made a massive jump forward, but everyone else has done a jump forward too. They needed to make...
Yeah.
Don't know, even more of a jump forward than what they have. But obviously they do have concessions, they do have development throughout the entire year, so that you will see that KTM go up. Well, at least you would have thought so. If not this year, definitely next year when they have 4 bikes. But overall, I don't know if it's the new engine they have or what, but that bike was just switching off.
Not wanted to play ball, was it?
Yeah, switching off quite often, but I don't know really what happened there. I mean, they didn't even get a point this weekend, which was disappointing. But they are better than last year. But it's still, I don't know. It's just a work in progress. You'll see that bike get better and better as the season goes along. But I don't know. I was expecting both of them to be in the points straight away. But obviously they've made progress, but everyone else has done progress. And what's also a pain for these, KTM, for example, is that You know, all these little satellite independent teams that they are fighting this year, they've all been given bikes that have won races and got podiums. So it's also a lot harder for them because, you know, Take 3, you know, very good bike. The LCRs have been given really good packages. The Pramacs have been given really good packages. So, like, all these teams that they're worth fighting have been given something that's won races before, whereas they've just kind of, like, been at the back there getting a couple points here and there. So
Yeah.
it's hard for them, but I think they will get there eventually. Don't
And
know
obviously
when,
in
but
2019, they have the Tech 3 KTM coming in, so that'll be even more data to them to speed up that little bit of development.
I think
and get
by the time we get to
to where they
Europe,
want to be quicker.
I think they will be a little bit more
Yeah.
where they
little
kind
more
of
competitive.
want to be.
So that was that. Paul Espargaro obviously retired. He didn't crash. He just retired, pulled into pit lane, and that was the end of his race. So, right then, let's go back to
the good people. They got to
the
the
race.
end.
Where did we get up to? We got up to where Zarco getting a bit passed and a bit wrecked, I believe. But that was a little bit. I don't know if you saw it because when I put in the chat, Dovi and Rossi, because I kind of looked down at my phone.
I didn't know what you was
Then
on
look
about
back
at
up
the
and I
time,
just saw
but
Dovi pushing Rossi out of the way, and then Rossi like pushing Dovi out of the way. And I was like, oh, what's cracking off here? It's
that
just
was
like
all
it's
right,
like when
a
you
little
join a convo halfway through, and it's a bit like
bit
what we're
intense.
talking about here. That's it's a bit like that. I was
not
like,
right.
oh,
For
what I
that
missed.
Grand Prix, I was a little bit at the start of it. At least I was a little bit worried for Dobby when I saw him. He was so far back. I was like, Dobby,
Yeah.
what are you doing? But then he just
So was
sliced
I. I
his
was a
way
bit
through
like,
and got to the front and
just took his time, kept that
I don't know
tyre,
if I'm going to
took
be
his
mistaken in saying this, but the minute he hit the lead, he didn't lose it till the last corner where he regained it straight away. I don't know. He might have lost it.
Yeah, that's
I think
true.
I think that is.
I think that's true.
That is what happened. Obviously, once again, we've had another Marquez v Dobby duel, and
Yeah.
once again, Dobby's won. He seems to win all these duels when they're actually
Yeah.
fighting each other on the track. You know, Austria,
3 of them now
Motegi,
in the last
Lozano.
9 races, I think. I read
So
the stat right
that's
on
quite
Twitter.
exciting.
And they've all been won, like Jamie said there, by Dovi. Now, just going back to Marquez a little bit earlier in the race, he was very nearly not actually at that little last corner scrap after a little moment with Zarco at turn 1. That was interesting.
Yeah, that
Zarco
was
took
all
his
a
knee
bit
out.
interesting. Really. Just whacked his knee back
Marquez's
in.
bike.
Marquez was alright. Let's get
the
my
way-
knee out to lean in, and then the Honda's like, "Nah, you put that knee back in, bro. Get that
And it
out of my
kind
way."
of upset Marquez's bike, and you saw him kind of stand up on the pegs a little bit, move his body weight to be like, right, now calm down, we're not going into a big
Calm
snap.
down.
And the fact that he still made the move on Zarco work was just quite a bit like,
Quite a bit interesting.
you're unbelievable.
Really.
You're
I
an
don't know how
alien.
he does it. He is an alien, but once again with that fighting spirit that he has, he went for it on the last corner. The minute I saw him going for it, like I kind of thought before we even got there, you know, Dobby's won this race. No way a Honda's going to beat a Ducati in a straight line, and there's not a lot you can do in the last corner. But then when he went for it, and the way it looked in the middle of the corner, I thought, hold up, Marquez is.
I
He
thought
might
he
have
blocked
just
past
got
it.
this. He might have just got this. He might have just held up like Dobby in the middle of the corner or whatever, and then Dobby just kind of suddenly, like, you can see the reps on.
I'm
You
not
couldn't see the
gonna lie.
Ducati anymore, and the Ducati just sitting up like, out the way, boy.
I was kind of hoping for that famous little hand flick that Dobby did in Austria, like, get out of me, kid. I was really kind of waiting for that, like, get out, and then just go to line, but he didn't. He was like, I need to cross the line first. And only by 27,000 of a second, because, like, if he had put that hand up, that could have been the 27,000 of a second
Exactly,
with the
I
wind
mean,
resistance and all that.
That finish was quite close. It was the minute Marquez went for that move. I mean, Dobby looked like he left the door open for him. It was like, come on, hop in, because I'm just going to do a switch back on you. But I don't know. It looked like, I don't know. Maybe Dobby didn't know, because after the race he was saying that he wasn't expecting that. So
Yeah, he was like,
I
he was
don't know,
quite
but-
surprised to see a maniac Honda down inside again at the
But
last
once
corner.
again, you know, he done his famous switchback and just mugged Marquez off again, which is pretty good. I mean, I did think he was going to win it anyway, even if it was a straight, you know, drag fight to the end. I think the Ducati would have just overall had beaten it. But then when you look at the speed trap, they're on the same, even the Yamaha. So, not sure. I think the speed traps are low key broken because that Ducati was definitely faster than anything else. Because you just see when it went on the aerial cams, that Ducati bike just closing on to anything else like it was nobody's business. But apparently, they all done the exact same speed. So, Dorna, you need to check this out because this is broken. They're not the same speed, let alone a Yamaha. So, well, that was all a bit interesting. But 27 thousandths of a second in it. It looked like more than that, to be honest, on TV. It looked like it was
I thought that. I was quite surprised when I went onto the MotoGP website and it was like opening round decided by 27 thousandths. I was like, you what? Went on results and there it was. I was like,
a bit bigger.
It looked like a tenth at least.
It's like the Canet one. That didn't look like 23 thousandths of a second at all, but it is what it is. Obviously, you know, these people
and then again,
know what's
the
going
speeds that they're travelling at, it's like, poof.
Valentino Rossi's done very good also on the Movistar Yamaha, P8 to P3.
Obviously,
only 7 tenths behind.
That new contract as well in his pocket must have.
Just need to hope that this bike is going to be good everywhere. I mean, this pre-season was all over the place. This round was looking all a bit like, oh, no. Especially for Maverick, that we'll get onto a bit. And he was doing good. He was right up there. I feel like he may have just missed out on the whole getting an opportunity because he maybe took a bit too long to overtake Zarco compared to Dobby Marquez. But, you know, to only be 7 tenths behind and to be at the age he's at compared to the two in front of him and on the bikes that they're on compared to he's on, which is a bit iffy. It's not too bad. Obviously, we've seen Rossi throughout the weekend switching up his style. He has some sort of, I don't even know, some sort of
definitely
going on.
Definitely, he's like, he's just.
It looks like he's leaning all the way off, but forward. I don't know. It looks pretty interesting, really. But
he's like, it's the master of adaptation. You know, if the bike's not working, he can adapt the way that he rides the bike to get the best out of it. And I think that's what he's had to do this weekend. He's had to... I think in the race, I saw him have 3 different exits. You know, turn 10, the long left. The way he hung off the bike, it was 3 different styles I saw. It was like the proper like lie down, the slightly more length forward lie down, and it was more like a hang over the front of the bike. So it was more, I guess, as the tyre wear got worse, he was having to just then change the way that he rode. And Dovi did that as well with the like positioning of the bike in the middle of the corner to then get it stood up and use the fatter part of the tyre to get out more than the edge of the tyre. And it was all like that. But yeah, good race for Rossi, 3rd position.
Looked pretty good ahead of Cal Crutchlow, which is quite interesting on the LCR Honda Castro, even though it's a bit more gibby.
I don't get this. I don't get this Castro malarkey. It's not Castro.
I mean, there is a lot more Castro on the bike this year. And it will definitely be going Castrol soon. I don't know when, but it will definitely be getting the Castrol livery because it always happens. But I don't even know.
Silverstone time, isn't
it? It's all a bit interesting. But Cal Crutchlow, a good way to start East Championship. P4, not too shabby at all. Low-key was expecting him to crash, not gonna lie, but ahead of Danilo Petrucci,
which is interesting because, like I was saying to you, I think Petrucci shot himself in the foot, you know, having to leave Pramac and whatever. He said, "Oh, I'm gonna get a contract in Ducati," and I thought, I mean, can't see you beating Lorenzo and Dovi, but then all of a sudden this weekend he's qualified on the front row with under the what was the old that record.
Yeah, I mean he's on the exact same bike as Lorenzo. This year, but I doubt. I don't even think, even if Petrucci did beat Lorenzo in a couple of races, I don't think they would give him the contract anyway. I don't feel like he has the racecraft that you need.
I know. I don't know if you watched the checkered flag that they did after the race on BT Sport, but they interviewed with Paolo Ciabatti, and he said, "Oh, what about Lorenzo?" And he basically just went, "Well, we signed Lorenzo to win races," and then he just went, shrugged his shoulders, went, So it was a bit like, we signed him to win races, and well, you've seen it's not happened yet. And it was a bit like he was having a little bit of a dig at him, and I was a bit like, oh, beef.
I mean, last year, obviously, it took a while to adapt, got really good, couldn't win the races that he could have won because he had to kind of let Dobby by and all that malarkey. And then this year, started off in the best way possible. Then the bike suddenly went interesting for him, and then this weekend, the bike was just not working at all. I don't know. I feel like it's the wings. I feel like he only does good with wings.
I was just about to say, he's not had wings this weekend. And it's just not looked his normal self.
I don't know, it looked all a bit interesting, but the bike had a mechanical failure, so it's not really his
Yeah.
fault. But I don't know, he looks, I don't know what it is, but sometimes he's just so good on that Ducati, you know, setting ridiculous times like Sepang, looking really good. Even the end of last year, looking super, super good on it. And then other weekends, it's like, where are you now?
I think it's Lorenzo himself is like the Yamaha of 2017. Is like good and then bad, because you see Dovey, he's obviously it's not the bike because Dovey's there. It's just Lorenzo. I think it's his brain. Lorenzo is one of them guys. He rides with feel more than anything else.
I don't know,
you know, we're on about Rossi adapting. He can
Ducati...
adapt to how the bike feels. Lorenzo has to have a bike feeling exactly the same every weekend. If it's not, then he kind of like he's not scared, but he always has that in the back of it. I think it's ever since like he broke his collarbone in Assen, he's always had that little bit of a feeling where if the bike doesn't feel right, he's scared of hurting himself. He's scared of blowing it out.
I don't know if it's just with the Ducati or what, but obviously Lorenzo, we obviously know is a brilliant rider, and even if he doesn't get a Ducati offer, you already know it's probably going to get a Suzuki offer or a KTM. He's going to get an offer from someone.
Offers left, right, and centre.
Someone will want him. But I don't know what, because I feel he's definitely going to win a race this year. I think for sure, but
yeah, I'd be surprised if he doesn't.
I don't know really what happened this weekend. I feel like it's the non-wing malarkey. I mean, every time he's had the wings on, he's done good. The minute they've come off, he's been a bit floppy. But even in some of the practices, he was up there. Then qualifying came, and he done a very good lap.
I was going to say
And
qualifying.
then he just pulled out.
Rossi and Lorenzo, they did very good laps. They were matching the fastest time in FP2, which was around the same time at night that they did the session, and they were 8th and like 10th or something. And it's just a bit like it's quite.
But hopefully, we do
it shows
Lorenzo
the quality that we have on the grid.
But I don't know, because like even Argentina, he doesn't even normally like that track, and then Austin, he doesn't like that track either. So
no.
if he does like 3 bad races in a row, that's just going to be a bit depressive for him. But obviously, when we get to Jerez, we know that he'll be up there. Well, I mean, you at least hope so.
You would think so, because you know that's where he performed last year.
But he does need to start doing stuff. But even so, there isn't.
I'm interested to see though Ducati
really...
at Austin.
It's going to be interesting, but there isn't really anyone
they've
that
solved their
take
turning
his seat, I don't think, because
turning issues.
Ducati clearly don't want him because they're more interested in Bagnaia. Jack Miller's not going to be going into that factory team, that's probably for sure. And then you look at the other riders, and you really wouldn't want Bautista. You wouldn't want Abraham. You wouldn't want any other Ducati rider. Pirro, I don't know if he's even interested. So,
probably not.
I don't even know. I feel like they kind of like just stuck with him for a bit.
I think he's a bit too old as well to start a
they have done a bike which can work for him. So I don't know if it's just set up or if it's the whole wings or not wings. Because we saw a lot through the weekend, teams using wings and then taking them off.
Yeah.
And it's like Yonomi didn't have wings for the majority of it, and then he suddenly did for the race. It's like, oh, okay. That's interesting.
I think Rossi run the wings as well. Marquez, I think, ran the very little, tiny ones.
So we don't know, but I'm just gonna hope it goes a bit better for him, because that Qatar didn't go too well for Lorenzo at all. But at the start he got a bit wrecked anyway. And then obviously the brake issues. We don't know how many laps he had them issues for, but that was a little bit disappointing. But Danilo is
scary
in P5.
Stuff for Lorenzo.
And then
another man who
place, Maverick Vinales, obviously
didn't have
horrific
the best
start of the Grand Prix, horrific 3 months.
He was down in 16th or 17th position at one point. I was what is going on?
It was all a bit awful, but FP4 was where we saw, Maverick, he's back. And then at the start of the race, it was like, no, he's not back at all. And then
it was one of them things where
madness.
I can't remember who it was in Moto 3. Who I said he was like looking in practice. It was Canet looking in practice, and he was like not where you would expect him to be. You know, he was like 8th, 9th, 10th. Looking at Vinales, he was 15th, 12th. you know, around there. And then we're like, well, he's going to be nowhere. Then all of a sudden, he banged in this stint in FP4. He went from full tank of fuel from the start of the session right to the end, and did what was the expected race pace, mid 55s, and then he did that all day long on the soft tyre and got faster as the race went on. And that's exactly what happened tonight in the race. He just got faster as the race went on.
To pull back a gap on the front people when everything is so close now. But he done really good. I think he shouldn't be disappointed. I mean, P6, yeah, maybe it's not like, oh wow, what did he do? But considering where he was, and to pull back that gap, because he was so far, but he was ridiculously far behind, and to only end up 3.8 seconds behind.
Yeah.
It's not too bad
it's
at
impressive.
all. If he
Very
was
impressive.
at the front, he might have been a bit like Chowdy or some done at the end of that Grand Prix, which is quite good at least. I'd rather have overtaking and stuff. But he finished ahead of Danny Pedrosa, that you really wouldn't have thought about when the race started. You had Danny fighting Marcus for P2 and Maverick not even in the picture. But Danny, I don't know, I guess he just couldn't keep the temp in the tyres or something. I mean, it usually happens.
I don't know.
So that all got a bit tricky for him.
He was ahead of, like you briefly mentioned earlier about Zarco and Honda, he was ahead of a rider who could potentially steal his ride, which is a bit of an interesting topic. Like I said, we will have more on that in another video throughout the week. We've got to plan the videos for this week.
Don't know. I mean, Tech 3 want to keep him, but when you look at KTM, it's like...
It's whether or not Zarco wants to risk his career at this point, because if he goes to KTM and it doesn't work...
That's like the fear, I think, that Tech 3 have. You know, it's like KTM. What are they going to give us? Because you never know. At the end of the season, KTM, they might be the best team. You never know with all their concessions, but you don't know. You would probably rather be on a Yamaha.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't even know. I don't know if Tech 3 straight up didn't get a Yamaha contract or what.
I'm not sure of the whole situation.
However, said we got something that we wanted for ages. Two factory bikes. Yeah, okay, you got two factory bikes, brilliant. But you've got two factory KTM bikes. Where are the KTMs? P18 and P anywhere. And your satellite Yamaha is on pole. And P8.
Lap records, fighting for podiums.
So it's a bit like, I don't know.
You know, getting top 10s and only finishing 7 seconds. So you look at the nearest KTM, 31 seconds. So that's 30 seconds that they could be giving up.
But factory Yamaha have said that they are willing to give him a factory bike next year. So I don't know. I don't really know what that's all about. I don't know who they're giving the Yamaha to. Apparently, there's high rumours of it being Mark VDS. But I don't know.
I mean, I've heard a number of rumours. So. I've heard Angel Nieto is going to have it, and then Mark VDS are going to go with Suzuki. I've heard what you just said, Mark VDS going Yamaha, and Nieto sticking with Ducati. Either one of them to
get it, Zarco could always go to that team. Like Yamaha could be like, right, we'll give you a factory bike if you go here, and he might just do that. Yeah. I don't know, but
it could be like the Ducati situation. The top rider in the team gets the newer,
because that is what Hervé was expecting this season. That's probably why he was like, you know what, screw you, Yamaha. You've not given us a full-on factory bike.
Yeah, but because how many times last year Zarco was the fastest Yamaha? So at the end of the day, if Zarco is winning races, a Yamaha is winning races. It don't matter that it's not the top team. A Yamaha is winning races, so you may as well give the best bike to the guy who can win races.
Yeah, but even without a factory bike, we've seen that he can. We've not seen him win yet, but we've seen him be able to fight for wins. So I don't really know why Hervé was so triggered about not getting a factory bike when he's doing just as good as them.
I think it was just. I think it was just like, why aren't you giving us? We have the rider, we have the team. Why aren't you, rewarding us, sort of thing?
And what's going to be even more depressing?
We've saved your 2017. It was a disaster and all that. With Zarco getting podiums, Folger, and then you're not giving us the reward for keeping you at that level, sort of thing.
What's even more depressing for me in general is that bike's probably not even going to be a Monster Energy bike next year. You know, that's
I know.
been my favourite livery forever. I mean, Monster Energy, it's just what? And now it's God knows what it's going to look like with a KTM.
I wouldn't be so bad if it was like the thing I sent you on Instagram, like the Toro Rosso looking one with the blue. I wouldn't be so bad with that, but Monster Energy, bro, is like, that is MotoGP. Monster Energy. It's always been there.
Yeah, it's a massive thing. I mean, I don't even know. What's it going to be? Because
in before
it's
Monster Energy goes to
probably
Nieto, Angel Nieto, Monster Energy Racing.
I mean, yeah, maybe, you never know, but it's probably going to be a Red Bull bike. I mean, KTM and Red Bull always have that massive partnership, but to have two bikes looking somewhat similar on the grid, don't know, it could be a bit interesting. But we don't know what it's going to look like. It obviously also depends on the riders for the sponsors, a couple of sponsors here and there. But that is all going to be interesting. We'll probably do a couple of videos on that whole topic, KTM, Tech 3, Zarco, Honda, what's going on. Suzuki, might be the S, who knows. But talking about Suzuki, we do have a Suzuki after Zarco here in P9. Andrea Iannone, at least he finished this year. Last year, fighting for the podium, fell off. This year, P9, he looked decent throughout the weekend. Maybe a bit disappointing in the Grand Prix. It looked like something didn't click. Like at the very start of the Grand Prix, it looked like it took him a little while to get the mojo. But he's in the top 10. He's in the top 10, which is pretty good.
What are these wings?
I mean, a lot of the time throughout the weekend, whenever they put him on the screen, he did not have no wings on. I saw him in the race with wings. I was like, bro, what's going on here? Rins has had him almost a weekend. Now he doesn't. You haven't, and you have. Well, what's cracking? But P9
must be just tire temperature in the cooler.
And
he was ahead of new Pramac Racing boy Jack Miller, who did you see him on the Thursday in the rider photo? Everyone's wearing the hats like I'm wearing now, or them ones there. And he was just wearing some big Australian
he always wears that funky thing. But Jack Miller, very good race.
That was funny.
He had wings on, I think.
Yeah, he did.
In the P10. Did Prix have wings on? I don't know. I mean, I've seen him use wings a lot, but I don't know if he did in the race. I don't
think he did.
But Jack Miller, P10, first race on the Pramac. He looks comfortable on that bike, and he was ahead of Lorenzo.
Yeah, he was.
A bit interesting. Obviously, we don't know, but maybe Lorenzo did have some sort of brake issues before it all come off, and he came off. But Jack Miller was doing pretty good. He done a very good qualifying also, especially Q1, and then the whole Q2. Like he said, or the commentator said, when he came in the pit, then he probably thought he had P5 because that was such a good lap. And then suddenly you got 3 riders under the record on a dusty track. So that was all a bit interesting. But Jack Miller, I think he's definitely going to be a rider to look out for throughout this year.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
I mean, you've seen Petrucci fighting for
podium. Like you said in the last Let's Talk that we did way back in Malaysia, it must just be something about Australians.
I know, Australians and Ducatis. It just works. So I definitely feel like for some of the Grand Prix, especially if it's wet, we are going to see Jack Miller up there. Because, I mean, we've seen Petrucci up there.
Definitely. And
we know that he's wet. Well, not wet. His dry pace normally is a bit interesting, and he's up there in P5. So you can expect Jack to get up there.
And, of course, Jack Miller is a race winner in the wet.
And Ducati goes so well in the wet, too. So that is all going to be almost like a perfect combination. So that's going to be
And also, another... Talking about little interesting combinations, what do you think about Rabat and the Ducati 11th?
Rabat just looked comfortable.
He just looks home on that bike. He just looks...
He's been on the satellite Honda, which no one likes. No one likes that bike.
Nobody.
No one wants to ride such thing. Maybe except Franco. He looked quite good on it.
Exactly,
Rabat, the minute he hopped on that Ducati and testing, he just looked comfortable. I mean, the bike's a lot bigger, so it kind of suits his massive, tall, dangly body a little bit better. And he just overall, he looks more just better in general. He looks more fit on the bike. He looks just overall faster. And then a P11 isn't too bad at all for the Real Avintia Racing new signing. Obviously doing quite a bit better than his teammate. I mean, there isn't too much competition in that little battle, is there? But Tito Rabat, P11, very good, ahead of the first MotoGP rookie for this season, Franco Morbidelli on the Mark VDS bike. A very tricky Honda to ride, but he done pretty well. I mean, he was following Lorenzo around for a while, or ahead of him. I think he was ahead of him, I don't even know. And he was doing, like, pretty good. I mean, he has done pretty good. I mean, P12, 4 points for Morbido. He's looked quite good throughout the entire weekend. It looked like it was going to be Nakagami, the best rookie. He had his little crash and lost loads of confidence by lots of things. But
yeah, not sure what went on.
Good job from Morbidelli.
Poor Naka.
Pretty good. P12, only 16.2 seconds behind the leader, which was obviously Andrea Dovizioso. So he done pretty good. I think he'll be quite happy with that. And it's a good way to start off his MotoGP career. And he's ahead of the first Angel Nieto team bike of Alvaro Bautista.
What a weekend it's been for them.
Livery
We've had
for them.
breakdowns, new livery. We had tyre warmers on the bike when it shouldn't be.
It's an interesting livery they've got going on this year. It looks quite... Don't know, to start with I thought it was going to be ultra disgusting. And it doesn't actually look all that bad in the end. But
it looks... okay.
I mean, for me, the most disturbing thing is Abraham's leathers. I mean, why are they blue? I don't get it.
I don't know. I don't like the little gold stripe that they got on the tank as well. It just kind of strike and it stops. It doesn't like carry on through the fairing.
It's a bit of an obscure livery from the Angel Nieto team, but they are rumoured to be going over to the Yamaha. But do they want to? Because if they stick with Ducati, they know that next year they're going to be getting a very good bike. So
this is it, isn't it? It's all just guessing games.
Because I mean, what bike are they currently on right now? Alvaro Bautista and Kale Abraham. I think, are they still on like the different bikes?
I think isn't Bautista on the 17 and Carroll's on the 16?
I think that's what it is. But that is a very good bike. And then obviously one of them will be getting this year's bike. And then the other will be getting last year's bike, which is obviously a multiple winner bike too. So that's already, that's going to be two good bikes.
Yeah.
But Yamaha might give something better. You just never know. It's obviously going to be an interesting decision either way.
And obviously, if Yamaha do go to partner up with the Angel Nieto team, you would expect Karel Abraham to get the boot out of there for Zarco to come in if Zarco doesn't go elsewhere. Because you never know, Yamaha themselves might offer him a contract. You know, like Crutchlow is now a HRC contracted rider. Yamaha might go, well, there you go, here's a contract, you sign with us, and then we will just put you in whatever team we feel you should be, sort of thing.
I mean, yeah, that could easily happen.
But
we'll have to see. We don't know when all this information is going to come out. Obviously, there's loads of rounds to go, so it could be all the way to Valencia when we find
there's
out.
There's loads of rounds to go, but we've already had 4 signings already.
Or we might not even get a Yamaha bike. Imagine that. Yamaha just straight up like, nah, we're just not going to have a satellite bike.
That would be interesting, that would.
I mean, I feel like
talking of satellite Yamaha.
Need it. I mean,
P14.
P14.
Happy siren.
We'll be doing a video on the rookies and maybe one on this guy specifically because we know a lot of people like this guy. Happy siren P14, not too bad at all. I mean, he's beaten some decent names. He done very, very well. Having not ridden the bike a lot, missing out on the first test.
Yeah, missing out on a lot of tests.
And all that. And he's on a fairly different bike to Zarco.
He's on the 2017 bike.
So
from what I understand, he's on a 2017 bike, which obviously we saw last year. The 2017 bike weren't around here. We saw a double podium, a win.
I mean, I don't know why he's on that bike. I mean, I don't know. He might have just liked that bike because obviously he's never ridden before, so he might have just.
See, the thing is though, as well, he liked the bike in Thailand. He liked it in Qatar. Zarco liked the bike in Valencia, and I believe he liked the bike in Sepang on the first day. And then when the temperature kind of changed and that, it went all a bit pear-shaped, a bit like the actual Movistar Yamaha at Sepang this year on the 2018 bike. So I don't know if Sirens just jumped on that bike and be like, oh, I like this, like Zarco did in Valencia, and then it's going to kind of bite him in the backside later on in the year, and it'd be a bit like
We'll have to see.
Yamaha's situation last year. We'll have to wait and see. But Hadi Siren, he's got 2 points on the board in his MotoGP debut. He must be happy with that, and he finished ahead of Carolina.
Yeah, not a lot to say about this dude. I mean,
we don't like here. I'm not gonna lie. We don't like riders who just pay their way in. They have no. I'm not saying he has no talent, because obviously he has to have talent even just to kind of get the opportunity to get.
Well, I mean,
the money in.
You see that,
but
there is a rider on here with no talent, and he's somehow in this. I mean,
well, I mean, yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, didn't you say did Alicia Spargo run out of fuel?
Yes, and he's run out of fuel, and he still finished ahead of Scott Redding and Simeon.
He's still beat. It's just ridiculous. But that's the top 15. KO
It's just
Abraham.
depressing.
Looking at a couple names,
And then,
which, well, I mean, we could mention them all. I mean, there's only like.
We'll just go through them all, yeah.
So Thomas Luthi,
them all.
the second.
Good
rookie.
ride for him, I think.
Yeah,
I think that was a good job for him in 16th.
Unfortunately, missing
And
out on the points. Yeah, good job for Nakagami. Good comeback.
A good ride after a bit of a rocky weekend. I think 17th, and you know he was only a second off the points, 1.2, 1.3 seconds off the points. So I think he can leave Qatar fairly happy. I don't know about him. I don't think he can leave that happy. I think 31 seconds and being beat by 4 rookies is quite.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It might be the
good.
KTM bike. They might have not slapped on all the upgrades they wanted to start the season or something.
I'm hoping because it's a make or break season for Bradley. You know, we saw at the end of last year. He's only here this year because he was contracted to be here. You know, this year, and KTM were like, "Oh, we don't want to do an Aprilia and just leave one of our riders." So there was all that speculation of him being replaced by Callio. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets replaced next year by Oliveira or someone like that if he doesn't step up his game. If he can beat Paul every single race from now, then
but even if he did say he did beat Paul in quite a lot of races, I would rather sign Paul over him anyway, just because I know that Paul is just going to be overall better in the long run, and then Smith, because Smith has been in Metro for ages now, and he's just not doing anything.
Could you stick Bradley back with the Tech 3?
I don't really know what is going on with him. It's just
put Oliveira into.
They could keep him in the Red Bull KTM family, but in the B team, they could always do that.
Put Oliveira into the Red Bull KTM factory team with Paul, and then put Brad and Binder in the B team, because Brad is actually a very good development rider. He's very good at developing the bike. So if he could develop the B team, that will then help the A team, which will then help everybody. So that wouldn't be a bad little situation. Having Binder and Brad in the B.
Callio was a bit of an interesting decision. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, because Callio just comes in and beats both of them, which is a bit interesting. But Then we got Alicia Spargo. We got the 2 Aprilias, which ridiculously enough said they're aiming for top 5 this season, when they're like, because obviously Xavier Simeon, he doesn't count, he don't exist. They're last, both of them.
I mean, Javier Simeon, whilst you was talking about Rabat and about how Simeon was slow, I went onto it. I managed to work out all the fastest laps. I've got them down here in a little Word document. Javier Simeon, we'll start off with Dovi. The fastest lap of the race, 1:55.2. Marquez a 55.2, Rossi 55.3, 55.3 for Rins, and then you look all the way down here, right at the bottom, 57.3 for Javier Simeon. The guy in front of him as well, Scott Redding, he did a 56.6. So
what was going on with him?
I honestly don't know.
If he doesn't start picking up the pace, he's going to get Sam Rose treatment. Just take the trash, because we don't want you. I mean, if he continues like that, I think, because if the rumours are true about Petrucci and Aprilia linking up, you say goodbye to Redding real quick.
Easily.
Because Alicia Spargo is just slapping him up. Alicia Spargo has had very good pace throughout the weekend up there.
Alicia was inside the top 10 until he ran out of fuel. So...
And then Xavier Simeon shouldn't even be there in the first place. I mean, I just don't understand that even if he had money, if you're Real Vinti, if you had a brain, you wouldn't sign such garbage because you know he's never going to be anywhere. He's not even within 10 seconds of a bike. He's lapping ridiculously slow. He's going around by himself. I mean, just imagine how embarrassing it must feel. Apart from the team knowing that they've signed
every
such
time he
garbage.
crosses the line, he's just there like, nobody, look at me.
Imagine
I'm not
how
here.
embarrassing it must feel for himself. Going around down that straight, not seeing anything the other side of the straight because they're all into like turn 2 and all that, while he's just coming onto the straight. Imagine how embarrassing it must feel for you going down, looking to your left at all the crowd. They're all looking at you thinking, "Who's that? Who's that dude? Who's he?
Who are you?
Everyone passed ages ago.
What are you doing?
Everyone passed ages ago. What's all this about?" And he's just coming around like, "Yeah, I'm just doing some more."
They're just saying like, "Oh, leave him alone, leave him alone. You might have crashed," and he's like, "No, I haven't crashed at all."
He's just like, oh, we're not in pre-season testing anymore. Oh, this is not a practice session.
I've just been driving around, like riding around on a Sunday ride.
Just embarrassing. I mean, look at these.
Garbage.
I mean, look at these straight line speed. It's slowest of them all when he's on a Ducati. I mean, God's sake, he's useless. And then obviously our non-classified riders, Paul Spargo broke down and Alex Rings lost the front end, and Jorge Lorenzo's bike literally gave up on life. So that was the MotoGP Qatar weekend. Very
what a weekend it was.
Overall, very enjoyable. Also, we need to wait a little bit for Argentina, unfortunately, but we do have Formula 1 in the middle there.
We have Formula 1 and the World Superbikes in the middle, so look out videos. World Superbikes will be me, Formula 1 will be Jamie, so look out for them.
Yeah, so that is going to be all a bit exciting. Days. Obviously, Chapter 1 out of 19 is done. Enjoyable. MotoGP that's closer than ever.
It's looking to be a great season.
Moto2
all 3 classes
closer than ever, you know. Different people.
Yeah.
Moto3. Yeah, you know, Marty. Yeah, he's doing good.
I think it will. I think it will probably close up. I
hope so. I mean, if not, banter. But it looked enjoyable. It was a good weekend. It's been a long video. If you have watched it all the way through,
32 hours.
In the comments, you need to leave down. Don't know. Something.
We say this and we get no comments saying leave a Kuna Matata or whatever.
This time it's a race analysis. Come on, people, leave a Kuna Matata down in the comment section because why not? And just leave in general what your thoughts of the race were. I mean, you might have already done that and you might have even got to the end. You might have just thought, man, I'm just going to give my opinion and then get out of this video.
They should click on the video. Oh, yeah, so I think, you know, blah, 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 and then just click off. It's like, so how many minutes did you watch? I've watched none. I just scrolled down, comment, and left.
So, hopefully you enjoyed. I don't really have anything else to say apart from I'm looking forward to this year. It should be all a bit exciting. And
we'll try our best to do a video after every race. We'll try.
Yeah, we should be able to do it. We just do it straight away.
Last year was a disaster.
I mean, last year was just top-notch pants, wasn't it? But this year, though, it's better. We're more prepared. And this year, we know we have the support waiting for us, you know, 600 odd subs closing into 700, whereas last year we didn't even have 100. And you know, we were doing like lots of effort, knowing like no one might watch this, you know. But this year, it is a better
this
situation.
Year we are on it, like a carb on it. We're on it more than some lows, unfortunately, today.
So that is what I have to say.
So we're going to leave that there.
Make sure to check out our social medias, our Insta.
Yeah,
Facebook,
we want to try and get the social
Twitter.
medias rolling. Social medias is actually quite cool, honestly. We post updates throughout the race weekends mainly, pictures on Instagram. We're going to try if we can get like I was thinking if we could try and get the back end of social media up, then we might try and include some questions if we get any in the Let's Talks. We'll try and include some questions and answer some questions from you guys. So if we could get some social media, that could come in the near future.
Also on social media, you can check out some super swag edits. Just saying, some good stuff over there.
Yeah,
all exciting malarkey.
Plug them edits.
Yeah,
plug
them edits.
Should do for now for us.
That is it. 1 hour 51 minutes on my webcam. Bloody hell.
Jesus. I'm not looking forward to edit this. Right, so
We need an
there we
editor.
go. That is it for today. If you guys have enjoyed the video, hit the like button, hit subscribe, check out both of our channels. Our links are in the description to our main channels where we upload this sort of thing, but just the games.
Sometimes
And
not even that,
we
on
shall
my part.
see you guys next time for what will be the Argentinian Grand Prix. Let's talk. And like Jamie briefly said, we have the World Superbikes and the F1 in between, so look out for that. And yeah, so there we go. It was a goodbye from me. Hope you enjoyed the video and the first round of the season. And I will see you guys next time.
Ciao, adios, I'm done.